Okay, we should be good to go.
I'm interested to hear what they hear, if they're hearing what I'm hearing.
And what are you hearing? So you're hearing what I heard last week.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's weird.
So then that means they're probably going to hear it.
Probably. Let's see. They're going to come in here any second. Let me just make sure everything's working on the old group. Let's see. Yes, I see people coming in. And sounds good. Can't hear anything weird. We hear you both.
You can hear, and you don't hear any scratches or anything like an alien disco party? Okay.
No,
All right.
it sounds good. So you're just unfortunately dealing with it this week.
That's all right. I'll take it.
It's like just a really, really fun back and forth.
Yeah. It's like, who is going to hate their life this episode?
Yeah.
And it was you last time, and now it's me.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's a different problem on my end this time.
Oh,
you just
your
sound
eyebrow?
I have an ingrown hair. You're very quiet. It's so incredibly quiet.
Why can't you turn the volume up on your computer?
Dave told me not to. I don't know why.
If you turn the volume up on your computer, it shouldn't do anything with the recording. But I guess he knows. So
I just turned it up.
Don't mess it up. I don't want to make him mad. What if there's a reason?
I don't know, because I'm going to make him mad anyway. Let's just be honest.
What if I forget to send my audio like I did last week and he has to use the computer audio and now you're messing it up?
Okay. Maybe don't forget to do your job.
Yeah, life is hard.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is. All right. So let's just go ahead then and let's get a jump in.
We should record this later in the day when we're both more awake. My boobs are hot. All right, start it. Start the thing. Say the thing.
Welcome to Take It or Leave It. I'm your host, Meredith Masony.
And I'm your host, Tiffany Jenkins. This podcast will discuss all things marriage, motherhood, and everything in between. Please remember, we're not professionals at anything you may actually need. So any advice we give you, you can take
or leave because it might be crap. On today's episode of Take It or Leave It, I did bring some topics to discuss on the podcast if Tiffany has any interest in them.
Okay, that's fun.
So we can.
The only thing I'm interested in is talking about the lady on the plane.
Lady on the plane?
Who saw a shapeshifter.
Okay, so I didn't hear about this, which is shocking. How. So do we want to start with shape-shifting plane?
Yeah, lady? I mean, we don't have to, but basically, here I just would like to get our audience's input. The rundown is there was a lady, the plane was about to take off, and she pulled a Devon Sawa Final Destination, get me off this plane, right? Yikes. And it wasn't like a regular rant that you see. She looked very well kempt, very pretty. She looked like a fitness person who worked out, so she's responsible and dedicated and diligent, that kind of thing. It takes a special kind of person to go to the gym all the time. You have to have self-discipline. So anyway,
age, how old was she?
30.
Okay.
Probably younger. I have no concept of who's what age because I feel like I'm 25, and anytime I find out someone is 30 years younger than me, it's surprising because I feel like we're the same age still. It's always really weird. So I'm not good at this. So anyway, looked normal. Her language, like her affect with her voice, was a smidge slurry. But the reason people are freaking out is because a lot of people say she didn't seem drunk. She didn't seem like she was under the influence of anything. and she starts freaking out and she goes to the front of the plane, and I'm paraphrasing, and she says, "You guys can do whatever you want to do. I don't give two F's. I'm getting off this plane because that man or that person is not real." And she said, "And you all can stay and die with him. Watch what happens. Watch what happens." And she like left her stuff. They're like, "Let us get your stuff." She's like, "I don't give an S about my stuff. I'm leaving. I'm getting off the plane." So everybody turns around and looks to see what she's talking about, and nobody sees anything. They think she's crazy, blah, blah, blah. The reason this one is different from most of the other ones is because people are saying she didn't seem drunk. And people are saying that there was a guy caught on the video blinking sideways. Other people are saying that the guy blinking sideways is from a different plane incident. Other people are saying that the lady is right. The weirdest part is she has disappeared. So she hasn't come out and made a statement. Nobody knows who she is, as far as I know, as of last night. Nobody knows who she is. People want to know, like, what's going on, and no one can find her. So,
Do you want to listen to the video?
I've heard it.
Should we play it?
Yeah. So, wait, before you play it, what I want to say is I kind of disagree with the people who say she doesn't sound like she's under the influence of anything, because as a professional high and drunk person, to me, she sounds a smidge drunk, a smidge slurred, but you all can listen to it and tell me what you think.
Okay.
And there's a reason why I'm getting the off in everyone. Can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
This is a new video made by another passenger who was on the flight the woman on the plane was on, who became distraught when she realized she was supposedly sitting next to a shapeshifter.
Hey, stop the fucking plane. Stop the plane. Stop it. Stop it.
This part's boring. Nothing happened.
You off this plane right now. I need to get the fuck off this plane.
Nothing happens in this part.
Okay, so what she was saying in there, it was really hard to. I don't know if you guys could hear that part, but I guess they started to volunteer people to move, so she didn't have to sit by him. So people were like, "We'll switch seats. You can sit there, and he'll sit over here." And she said, "I don't want to even be on this plane with him. You can't make me stay." So somebody else started to take a video, right?
I didn't see the captions for that one, so it didn't sound like anything to me when I saw that one last night. It didn't sound like anything, but that's interesting.
Yeah, and she still refused. She was like, "No, I'm not staying on this plane." I agree she sounds under the influence.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But everybody's convinced that she isn't. Some people in the comments are saying she might have taken anti-anxiety meds or Ambien for the flight. Maybe she was tripping out.
Where do we know where the flight was going?
No, but I read Carrot Top was on the flight.
That's so random.
I didn't fact check. I could be wrong. Some people are saying she sounds messed up, but if you go through the comments, of course, because anytime somebody puts something on the internet, when they put the creepy music like that, people who have a brain like me who are like, what if though, right? So a lot of the people are like, no, she seems scared to death. And that's why her voice sounds the way it does. And people thought they genuinely saw fright. And then,
Oh, she definitely looked scared. I agree with that. She looked like she was losing her shit.
but she didn't sound wasted, but she did sound a little tipsy to me. But even if you are like a little tipsy, beginning drinking, are you that certain that the person next to you is a shapeshifter and you freak out and want to get off a plane? That seems extreme. Apparently, she had a Louis Vuitton bag. So it seemed like she had money. Like she seemed like a normal person. I mean, anybody can buy fake bags, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it's just really interesting. What's a shapeshifter? It's not, don't Google it. Don't get me started either. So some people think that shapeshifters, it's going to sound nuts.
Yes, it is. Go ahead, Tiffany, and explain.
Okay. Some people believe that aliens have already come to Earth a long time ago and disguised themselves as human beings. And people believe that many of these aliens / reptilians hold office in the government in order to control the way the world works. And I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't. This is just the facts. And so when you hear people say they live among us, it's because there are videos out there of people allegedly catching shapeshifters on camera. There's a video that I saw where somebody was alleging that Justin Bieber was a shapeshifter. They also think that these alien reptilians have infiltrated the music industry. So everybody that you see who has out crazy fame for no obvious reason, right? People who are just whatever are shapeshifters. So there's videos out there of Nicki Minaj and Katy Perry blinking like a reptile. And if you go to the actual interview clips, not just an edited one by somebody who posted on the internet, if you go to the actual interview from like E! News or whatever, you can clearly see the weird blinking. Is it a camera glitch? Who knows? But this is just what some people believe it to the extreme. Some people are open-minded a little bit and are like, maybe. Some people are like, I don't know. But the point is, that's what people say a shapeshifter is.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought I was curious because I've been wanting to ask somebody, does she sound drunk to you? Because if you go through the comments, everybody says, no, she doesn't sound drunk. Her voice sounds like that because she's scared. And I'm like, but wait, she sounds a little drunk to me. Like, or maybe not drunk, but like messed up, slurred. Her speech is slowed down a little bit.
I don't know that it was alcohol, but I could totally see, a couple of Xannies or an Ambien. I mean, I've never taken Ambien, but I'm going to assume that really depresses everything because it's there to make you sleep. And she sounded very like it was like everything was sort of extended out when she was saying it,
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, that's what I got.
People are saying she's embarrassed and that's why she's hiding and not coming forward, which I understand and I get, but you'd think somebody who knows her would have outed her by now and been like, that's Rebecca from accounting. What I mean? Like,
she didn't turn in her TPS reports last week.
That's what people do when they know someone, and nobody has come forward and said anything yet. So it's an unknown right now. Soon enough, it's going to come out who the lady is. But then people are saying, even if she does come out and make a statement, the government's going to make her retract what she said and confess that she was on drugs so that to keep the shapeshifter lie going, to cover their tracks. All these thoughts are going through people's minds. She'd never actually admit it because then the government would go after her. It's just interesting. Anyway, as you can tell, there's certain subjects that I'm excited to talk about, and there's certain subjects that I'm not. And this was one that I was excited to talk about because I was tired, and now I'm awake and alive.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we could start with some shape-shifting news.
Yeah, let's do that every episode, actually. Let's just kick it off with a bang.
Yeah. So you still don't want to talk about Colleen Ballinger then?
We can.
It's just every week it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. Have you followed it?
I haven't followed it, but it's been thrust in my face repeatedly.
In your feed?
Yeah, and so I had a thought this morning about it because there's a new article that came out that said she did blackface
Mm-hmm.
to sing like a Beyonce song or something.
She did. I watched the video.
I didn't watch it, but I saw it. And because I am the person that I am, not even before the blackface thing, I feel like what happens if somebody does something, then it becomes like a hunt to find
Oh,
all
yeah.
the things that they've done wrong. This one woman was like, I've spent the past 4 days watching every single episode or every single video of Colleen's, and here are all the terrible things she's done that I found, blah, blah, blah. And it is so scary to me. The stuff that she did is horrible. The grooming, the blackface, all of that. I don't agree with any of it, but it turns into like a witch hunt thing.
Mhm.
So her life will never be the same now because she's got all of these people with extra time on their hands going through her shit with a fine tooth comb does that not scare the crap out of you, dude? If somebody did that with me, with how hard I try to be understanding and compassionate and, I try not to offend people, they're going to find stuff.
No, and the thing that gets me about this is I think because Sophia was such a big fan and she used to have the show playing all the time in the house and I would scream, do not put that on again, because I could not stand the Miranda Singh character voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would just grate on my nerves. And so I would scream at her, turn this off. Like, I can't handle this. There are certain shows, cartoons that when my kids were growing up and they'd have on the TV that just shot straight through me and it would drive me nuts. And we all have those shows, right? And so I had no personal opinion on this woman.
There's people who don't know this woman. So give a brief synopsis of who she is.
So Miranda Sings is a made-up character. It's a very weird, very awkward, very odd television show that was created.
They don't know Colleen.
Colleen is the real person. She's the quote-unquote famous person behind Miranda Sings. Miranda Sings is the character that she created. It's basically a woman who thinks she was born to be a music star, but has a terrible voice and confidence of Elvis.
So there's people who are confused. So basically, Colleen is a YouTuber.
Yes.
And she makes skits and product reviews, and she's created a character. Like I've created the character of anxiety. She's created a character called Miranda Sings, who wears crazy red lipstick and hiked up pants and is just a weird person. So this woman, Colleen, was in a group chat with a bunch of her followers who were very young. Her audience demographic is like middle school down for the most part. And so one of the ways that she connected with all of her fans was being in a group chat with them. And so they would talk about things. She would jump in there. Apparently, some of the conversations took a sexual turn and were inappropriate. Well, one of these students or one of these kids finally came out or has been trying to come out with the truth for years and nobody was listening. Now, all of a sudden, people are listening. And so there's text screenshots of her being inappropriate. And everybody is now sharing their information about all of the inappropriate things that she has done as a creator. And people are shocked and devastated because she was big. She was huge. And you know what's weird is I think she toured with my tour company also, the tour company that I used. I could be wrong, but for some reason there was a connection between me and her. And I don't remember what it is. But anyway, now she's under fire because of all of the inappropriate things that she has done over the years.
And I remember when she talked about this back in 2020, when it first came out, that there were some allegations about this. And she talked about how she did a lot of stupid stuff when she was a kid. And she did grow up in front of the camera. And she did start this when she was much, much younger. So I can completely understand being young and making stupid choices in the public eye and what that can do. What I don't know is true or not are all of the allegations that have come out since about her being inappropriate with these middle school age kids. If that's true, that's it, obviously a huge problem. It's extremely and highly inappropriate, and it is considered, grooming. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if what these people are, you know what I mean? I have no idea. You can read it and you can make an assumption. I do at first, when I first started watching this unfold, I was like, man, I do feel bad, because she was a kid that grew up in front of the camera, and they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to say stupid stuff, and they're going to get boxed in on interviews and, put their foot in their mouths, right? We all do that. We're human beings. We're bound to slip up and make mistakes. But then it kind of turned when she made the apology video last week. That wasn't an apology, and she sang it with a ukulele. And I was like, where are we going with this?
Mm.
And then again, this week, it just, it continued down this path of more people saying, no, I was a part of, I think it was called Colleen's Weenies was the group.
Yeah, it was something with wieners.
Yeah. Teeny Weenies, Colleen's
No,
Teeny
I don't know.
Weenies. No, is that not it? I'll have to Google it.
It was weird. Somebody, Wendy in the comments said, Colleen's ex-husband Joshua has spoken out against her as well and admitted and apologized for his wrongdoing at the time. So some just examples of some of the accusations. This person who has been the main whistleblower, if you will, for Colleen, his name is Adam. Their name is Adam. I'm not sure his pronouns, but he in the text thread was like, my ASS looks good today. And he was 14 at the time. And she responded, pics, Adam. And apparently she had a bunch of private conversations with him where she talked to him or them about her sex life, the intimate going-ons with her husband, things, what kind of toys she liked in the bedroom and things like that. And Adam, of course, thought it was so cool at the time because there's this famous YouTuber. But I guess as Adam's grown, I guess the reason Adam came out is because she came out to speak out about her is because he ended up semi-working for her. I'm just going to call him a he for now because I'm not sure. Working for her and was put in charge of some announcement. And he told her that she should do like a pride flag and say an announcement coming later today and to promote something. And then she put it out there and it wasn't an announcement that she was gay. It was an announcement that I don't remember, something that had nothing to do with that. She's a Meghan Trainor fan or she's not a Meghan Trainor fan. So there was this big, huge deal in the LGBTQ plus community. And she publicly apologized and blamed it on Adam. And Adam came forward and was like, no, dude, I'm getting dragged online because of something that you approved and you told me to do. And he provided the screenshots. And that's when everything got out of control. Right. Colleen's Weenies.
Yeah, that's what I think it's called. Yeah. So, and I don't remember the age she was when all of this went down, but I want to say it was early 20s.
No, she was much older. I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't been all the information that I just spewed out of my mouth is crap that I've been forced to look at.
Yeah.
Because it's everywhere. And so to the people in the comments who are like, I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm so lost. Like, what a blessing.
Yeah.
Because she's taking over my feed and I feel for the victims. I feel for the people who, have been traumatized by her, but I'm sick of seeing her face.
Right. And I think there are lots of layers to it. I think she probably remained extremely immature as a result of growing up in the public eye and probably never being told no, and probably getting things that she wanted to get. She probably didn't know how to have appropriate interactions with teenagers who were her fans. Because there really isn't the appropriate thing is to not have interactions with them because you're a grown up and they're kids. And I just had the I'm not your friend conversation again with Sophia. And she turned and looked at me and she said, I know we're not friends. I get it. And I'm like, I need you to really get it because that's not what my job is. And it won't, it won't be my job until you're grown. And then I hope we're the best of friends. But that's not what the job is. And when you become a public facing figure, like she did, and there's a huge responsibility on your shoulders, because you know that these millions and millions and millions of kids are looking up to you.
Right.
Which, there's a, it's a friggin' onion, there's all these layers there. So, and every week there's a different, turn with it. So I don't know how it's going to play out or whatnot, but I think that I don't know why. I guess, like I said, I think I followed it because my kid watched so much of it.
Right. She had a really great opportunity to just own it and say all the things that you just said. Like, dude, I grew up in front of the camera. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying, I fumbled. I made a mistake. I take full accountability. I am so sorry to anybody who I hurt. There's a right way and a wrong way to apologize. And the way that she did it, in my opinion, was not the right way. And that's why people are so continuing to just pile on, and now there's all these memes and videos being made about her apology specifically and the ukulele. I don't know what, and I guess her PR person told her not to do that.
Right.
So part of her song was about her PR person.
Yeah.
And it's there's a reason that your PR person told you not to do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, but I do, and I've said this from the very beginning. I do have a real soft spot for these young kids that grow up in front of the camera, because I don't think that they were given the proper tools. Mm-hmm. And then you see them as adults and you're like, man, I mean, I guess the whole thing is well, how old would Brittany Murphy be? Right. I remember these people from when because I feel like we would be about the same age. Right. Because these mm-hmm. are the movie stars that I watched as a kid that kind of grew up, but they ended up dying because of overdoses and other, other things, or suicide. And it was because they too much too soon all at once type of thing. And then that will obviously make you formulate how you want to do something. And so I do have a soft spot for these people, because it's they're people, they're humans. We all screw up. We all have problems. We all have issues. We are all, shapeshifters. No, that's not. But we all, you can, as a parent, what I'm saying is, looking back on it now as a 43-year-old mother of 3, you just look at that kid, that Brittany Murphy, right? You just look at those kids that didn't make it because they were just, too much was on their shoulders and they couldn't handle it.
I don't know. Brittany Murphy's death is a little suspicious, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true too. So, I mean, but there are so many unfortunate examples like that, right?
Wendy said, I'm sure Colleen wishes she could be a shapeshifter right about now.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Do you know what else I think about the world has changed so much? There's things that I did back in the day that seemed okay, that I thought were okay.
Right.
That today are not okay. And I know that now.
Yeah. Well, watch any movie from the 90s.
If somebody went back.
Yeah.
I'd be screwed. And it's not because I'm malicious or I have meanness in my heart. It's because I'm just an idiot. Well, and I try to think about that when all these people get dragged down to the depths of hell in front of everyone. I'm worried about trigger warning. If you're Colleen, do you think to yourself, I'll never be able to come back from this? I can't deal with the pain anymore. I just want to end it. Because I'm sure thoughts like that cross people's minds when they go through things like that, especially if they're predisposed to depression and things like that. To have the whole world talking crap about you at once and news articles, it's hard. It would be hard for me to be I don't know. That's a lot for
It is.
one person to deal with. I would not be strong enough to deal with it.
And I think that's why I think that's why when I've been watching this unfold, there's this other part that's like, ugh, I don't know if she ever really comprehended what was going on or
Right.
how inappropriate it was. And that doesn't make it okay.
Right,
But
exactly.
it gives you more of the, like we talked about, why do we watch the murder shows?
Mhm.
The why, like I think there's a why there. And I think that could, I think if you just take a look at, if you watch any of the clips from her live show or the clips from the show that was on Netflix, or, I mean, there's a very low maturity level. And you can say, well, that's acting. But I don't, like I think maybe that for years and years and years, maybe before she became a mom or whatever, I think it was interchangeable. I think that that's just where she was. I think there was a lack of maturity, and that could simply be because she's a millionaire child that never got told no or was
Yeah.
given everything. And I think that happens and sort of implodes.
Yeah, agree.
So that's where I sit on it, which
Well, we're sending love to anybody who felt traumatized by her actions.
mhm.
Thinking about her with a hint of empathy as fellow humans.
Right.
I hope that she can find a way to continue to survive through this and persevere and come out the other side a better person for it.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Yeah. So I was scrolling last night and I came across this story about Michael Jordan's son and who he's currently dating. Do you know about this?
Very little. Pippin?
Yeah. So apparently this is an old story. I don't know how I didn't hear about this, probably because I don't care and I wasn't paying attention. But at first last night when I was scrolling, I go, oh, Michael Jordan's son is dating Scottie Pippen's daughter. And I said that to Dave on the couch. And part of me was like, as a mom, I was like, oh, that's cute because they were teammates, right? They were teammates, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. And so I thought, oh, this is adorable. And then I read the article and it's Scottie Pippen's ex-wife and Michael Jordan's son.
Shut up.
Listen, Michael Jordan has finally addressed his son dating the ex-wife of his longtime Chicago Bulls teammate Scottie Pippen. Jordan was asked by TMZ if he approved of his son Marcus, 32, dating Larsa Pippen, 48, while leaving Maddington in Paris on Sunday. No, he said, shaking his head while getting into an SUV. That was his comment. No, I don't approve of this. In January, Larsa shared a photo of herself and Marcus with his arm wrapped around her and the two holding hands in front of a mural featuring Marcus's father's jersey at the Trophy Room boutique within the Jordan family residence, with a caption, "We're just friends." And they're not just friends.
Okay.
So
Okay.
apparently, Larsa Pippen used to babysit him
Stop
during
it right
games.
now. Stop it right now.
I thought this was a story of Michael Jordan's kid and Scottie Pippen's kid.
So did I.
And it is Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Dude, that just adds a whole other layer.
I mean,
about the babysitting. Like, so how old is this kid?
He's 32. She's 48.
So I'm not good at math. 16?
Yeah.
So he was a baby.
Maybe like a little toddler or whatever. She had to marry.
Yeah. When did she marry
young,
Pippen?
Right?
So there's also a story.
Oh, here comes Dave with breaking news.
She ran around a bit. That some rapper had sang songs about how the insinuation was that he went downstairs and slipped into Scotty's slippers. And she is the slipper.
Oh.
And what's his name? The Future.
Future? Is this a
Oh,
rapper?
yeah, I love Future.
Scotty slippers, which is her.
He has insinuated that he has slipped into Scottie Pippen's slippers. And those slippers were Larsa Pippen.
What a mess.
And who knows if this is true or not or whatever, but I feel so bad for Scottie Pippen.
So is it speculation or are they
No,
dating?
they're dating. No, they're together. They're together. They're in a full relationship. They're IG official, as a matter of fact. So
wild.
But I just feel so bad for Scottie Pippen because I don't know. I know you're not really a sports fan, but The Last Dance was this incredible documentary about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls and his rise to fame and the team, coming together to win all of these championships, right? And just them being the best basketball team literally ever on the planet and the roles that they played. And Michael Jordan is a huge asshole. Unbelievable mega asshole. Doesn't mean he's not the greatest player of all time. He is an asshole. But what I will say about it is that's because the man is all business and he doesn't care about anything else.
I know someone like that.
He's all business. And that man is an amazing, just athlete, right? Anyway, you watch Scottie Pippen in this documentary because that is like his go-to teammate. He's the one who helps carry the team. And the poor guy never got the credit that he deserved for the role he played on the team or with Michael, right? So there's all these banged up hard feelings and it plays out in this documentary, The Last Dance. And, there are definitely people out there who are like, you can't be Michael Jordan without a Pippen. Like you have to have, do you know what I mean? It's like,
I didn't know that.
Right. It's like you're Batman to Robin, right? Like you're whatever. And so there's this, and he wrote this whole biography and there's all these things. And he just always, every time I watched him, he just seems like such a down to earth, eloquent guy. And then you come across an article where his ex-wife is screwing Michael Jordan's son. And you're just like, no. What is going on? No.
That's really sad. It's people are nuts.
Weird.
Listen, weird things, weird interrelational things like don't surprise me anymore. Like when, it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's that salacious. I don't know. I'm thinking about a family member specifically who, when his wife died, he ended up marrying her best friend.
Tiffany.
Is that bad?
Which I don't think that's uncommon though. I really
But that's what I
don't.
mean. It's like, oh, this is forbidden. This is really bad. We shouldn't do this. Can you imagine how crazy it would be? And like that rebellion, it just like it's so exciting. It just throws you right into the bedroom.
Oh my. No. Oh my. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I saw that last night and I thought, geez, Louise. And then I thought we could talk a little bit about my Botox appointment yesterday.
Did you get it?
She would not do it.
What?
Okay. So I went in and let me say.
She did your forehead.
Yeah, she did my forehead. So
I can tell.
Let me explain.
I'm just kidding. It hasn't kicked in, but it looks good.
No, it hasn't kicked in. But let me explain what happened.
All right, I'll shut up.
We'll go from there. So I went in with a very specific complaint. And we know, everybody here knows, if you've listened, you know my complaint. And this isn't a new complaint. I've had this complaint for several years now. I have cat butthole mouth. It's a real thing. It's actually in medical journals. It's referred to as cat anus mouth. Now,
that's true.
I went in and specifically said to her, I know I have forehead wrinkles. I know I have crow's feet. I said, these are not the things that worry me. I said, it's this right here. It's the cat butthole mouth. And of course she laughs and she goes, it's okay. I have that too. It's very common. She said, did you grow up in Florida? And I was like, is that where the cat anus people grow up? And she's like, well, the son She goes, "You're not a smoker, right?" And I said, "No, I've never smoked." She goes, "Smokers and people who grow up in Florida have a real tendency to have this because the sun is so damaging." She said, "And also, as we age and we get past a certain age, which is usually around our mid-30s, we start to lose the collagen and fat deposits in our face. So I guess right here on the upper lip, you have fat pads. And the fat pads that are under your lip are what keep your lip sort of plump.
Mhm.
And when I say lip, I'm talking about not the actual two lips. I'm talking about the meat above the lip,
Okay.
whatever this is, the flap.
Yeah. Meat above the lip is good.
Yeah, there you go. And so I showed her and she goes, "So what's happened to you is you've lost the collagen, you've lost the fat pads, and now in between each of those fat pads, there's a divot. And
Filler.
those divots require filling. You cannot Botox." She goes, "You cannot Botox that spot." She goes, "I can."
Your lip wouldn't move though.
She goes, "But you will have something called oral incompetence." And she goes, "Oral incompetence is basically when," she goes, "you will have a hard time with your Q's, your R's, your P's, your S's." She goes, "You will not sound the same. You will," she goes, "Yes, the wrinkles are going to be gone, but you can never suck through a straw again, like until it wears off. Like there's a whole reason we tell people do not do this part of your mouth
Mm-hmm.
because you will look, you'll sound different." And I said, "Look, I'm a comedian. Like I literally go travel from city to city and I'm
Mhm.
talking a mile a minute." And she goes, "I highly recommend you do not do this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I'm really glad I came in for the consult."
Did she
She's
put
like,
filler in there?
"No."
No.
She goes, "But let me take a crack at those."
Girl, listen, I'm not kidding. I was just looking at your forehead. I'm not joking. And
She's
I
like,
know
"Let me take a crack at those." And so I was like, "Well, I'm here. I've never done it. Let me try it." I get the $50 off first appointment, whatever client thing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so she didn't do much, but she put some in there. But she did tell me, she's like, "You should come back and let me fill the top because that lasts for not between 9 to 12 months.
I didn't think you could do that because I thought you would end up looking like someone from Whoville, from a Dr. Seuss book.
Right. But she says that's exactly what they do.
I didn't know that.
And then it just sort of plumps this up so that it doesn't do this.
That's
all
crazy.
these divots. But yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you for at least doing it in your forehead. I feel like it looks less wrinkly. I know it hasn't kicked in today.
Yeah, it
Oh,
hasn't.
never
She
mind.
said it. She said it takes a solid week for full results.
You just got to be careful because if they put too much in, like your facial expressions are everything. It's who you are as a comedian and things like that. And I think that sometimes people just go to the extreme, and I'm not judging at all, but when you're in this profession and your face is your business, you got to be really conservative. Is that the word? Conservative? Sparingly?
Oh, yeah. So I said that to her. I was like, "Look, it's really important that I'm able to move my face."
Yeah.
I said, "It is what I do." And I said, and that's why I told you, I was like, I wasn't super concerned about these because, yeah, they're there.
They're
and
adorable, though.
Who wouldn't like to look a little smoother? But I'm not interested. So she did half of what she says I could do X amount. I did half.
Perfect.
And I don't even remember what that was now. I'd have to actually look at it because it's all it's in units, which I didn't know either.
Yeah, stop rubbing it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a little sore today.
Well, but it has to like spread where it's supposed to spread. And if you rub it,
yeah,
somebody
so I'll
said.
stop touching it. But anyway, so it was interesting because I had never been to one of these places. I had never had a consult. I had never been, never done it before. I've thought about doing my armpits a million times.
Oh, for the sweating?
For the sweating, because you can Botox your armpits and not sweat like I sweat. Because Tiffany can attest to how much I sweat. It's insane.
But because you never stop moving.
Because I have those lumps in my armpit, I could never do it.
Oh gosh, don't remind me. Oh my gosh, Meredith. I blocked that from my memory, dude. Ugh. Listen, no,
Ew.
I'm sorry. I know that's so rude. I'm sorry, but it really traumatized me, Meredith.
My armpit lumps
You
traumatized
made
you?
me, no. You pulled the lump to the front and made me squeeze it.
It's
You
hard.
made me feel it.
It's hard.
And I haven't slept since. I think it's been
Okay.
4 months, 5 months.
You're so incredibly ridiculous.
Listen, I'm the queen of bumps. I'm not hating. I swear. It really was one of those things that stuck with me. Like when my ex-boyfriend coughed and a dry booger came shooting out of his throat, I had to break up with him because I couldn't get the image out of my head and I couldn't look at him the same. It's just one of those things that sticks with me. I have a disgust OCD, and certain things really mess me up. And no offense, I love you, but squeezing your armpit lump was one of the things.
Yeah. So I actually did a post and tagged Dr. Pimple Popper, and she said I could go see her and she'd take him out.
Wait, what? Dr.
Yeah.
Pimple Popper said she would?
Yeah. So I'm going to call her office and try to get an appointment, but I got to see how much it's going to cost because I highly doubt my insurance is going to cover her as a physician.
Well, I'm sure you could work something out. You know what I mean? Like, I'll share it.
Well, she's not gonna like put it on a show or anything. She just said that, if you're in California,
then
come
don't
out.
bother.
Well,
unless you just want a vacation, then take me with you.
No, I want them out. They hurt.
Yeah, but you could do that in town, dude.
I don't know.
And not go to LA. Dr. Pimple Popper tried me.
I have to go to LA because I have a show. I have 2 shows.
You're going to get surgery. Well, you're going to do the shows first and then get armpit
No,
surgery.
I would do it first and then do the shows.
You're such a liar.
No, I'm not kidding because I have a long run in October. I have to go from California to Arizona to Washington.
Meredith, you are already... Wait, are you flying or driving?
Yeah, flying.
Yeah, no, your sutures will rip right... You can't.
You can fly with sutures.
I think you're underestimating the pain level.
Okay.
You're going to be seeing shapeshifters, dude, from the pills that they put you on.
I might, yeah. Yeah, let's not forget the black mass that I had to pull out of your ear.
Okay, fair. That's so fair. Who said that? It just says Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was disgusting.
Dang.
I vomited.
That was a clap back because I'm sitting here talking about her lumps and Meredith spent hours pulling black masses out of my ear hole when I had ear fungus. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, literal mold.
I'm like, I have disgust OCD. I can't even believe you made me feel that. Like completely forgetting what you've done for me.
How gross your ear hole was.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Touche. You got me there. You got me. You're a good friend. I'll feel it again. I'll feel your lumps.
I don't want you to feel my
I will
lumps.
feel your lovely lady lumps anytime.
So anyway, so that was
so funny.
I think that was all that we had going on this week. The only other thing was Matthias did take his first solo flight. So he got there. He's at camp right now. He's doing really well. He's hanging out with his good friend and
making out with girls.
They went to the beach
by the lake.
They went to the beach on 4th of July and watched the fireworks. And camp started yesterday.
Do you miss him so much?
I do miss him, but it was so funny. So Sophia is so my kid, right? So he's at the airport and he snaps a selfie of him on the escalator and he hashtags it grown ass man. And he puts it in the family chat, right? And Sophia claps back and she goes, "Okay, buddy, bet you took your Elmo blanket." And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yes. And I was like, he did. He took his Elmo blanket. And it's just like, it's so tattered and like just little pieces. It's like, but he literally sleeps with it wrapped around his neck. So it's the best thing ever.
So wild. There's something with childhood things and people. It's a mental thing. I forget what it's called. My sister has a blanket from childhood. It is horrendous.
Yeah.
we put it, not me, I wouldn't be there because she was hysterical, but she put it in the bath one time and the bath water instantly turned black. Like she goes like this with it and it crumbles, and she won't let you throw away the crumbles. She keeps all of the crumbles of the blanket. Nobody is allowed to touch it. Like, it's very interesting. And so hearing that your son does that, it's not the first time I've heard it either. People do that with stuffed animals.
So
Animals on its last leg.
Yeah, when he was little and he had it, he used to take the corners of the blanket and chew on it. And then he would take them and he'd rub it on your face if you were laying next to him. And I'd be like, because he would call them his crunchies. And the crunchy part was because it was his gross dried spit and it would get hard. And then he would just like rub it across you. So I ended up cutting the corners of the blanket off.
You can't do that, Meredith.
It was disgusting.
Okay, but mentally, how did it affect him?
He stopped chewing on it.
Okay, so you're talking about when he was a baby, not like recently.
When he was little. No. If he did that recently, no. No. So, but he still has the blanket and he still sleeps with it. And Sophia still has hers and sleeps with hers. And Brian still has his and sleeps with his. So all three of my kids still sleep with their baby blankets.
That's so cute. That's so cute. My stepdad had a matching blanket of Paris's, and we went to visit him once. And we laid the blankets out next to each other. It's on my Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
And hers looks like the skeleton of a blanket. Like, it's so trippy. It's so trippy.
Brian's has had, I think it's been re-sewn twice. We had to have it like literally quilted back together.
It's so cute. It's
just been washed so many times. And I mean, it's just, but anyway, so it was a very funny clap back. I thought she did a great job in the family chat with that.
It's funny to see your kids' little personalities and see them interacting like that. I can't imagine my kids being in a group chat like that.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to think. And then the only other thing that happened this week was I got quote unquote lit up on Instagram because Dave bought a blowtorch that is literally meant for blowtorching your weeds, like in your rock beds or whatever. And he was showing Brian how to use it, and I did it like an Instagram reel. And this woman in the comments started saying that she was going to send the police over immediately to arrest us for setting fire to our neighborhood. And she just started going crazy. And I was like, the blowtorch is literally marketed for this exact purpose. Like, this is what it was made for.
I never knew that.
So I guess, anyway, so we spent the whole day in the yard weeding and cleaning out the beds. And then Dave was, blowtorching them or whatever.
That's fun.
But this woman was insane. And I was like, listen, don't call the cops yet. My house is a mess. I don't have any lemonade. I have no donuts. I have nothing to serve these people. I was like, let me get prepared before you send them my way.
Did you respond with a reel to her comment?
I think I just did an Instagram story because I was like, this is stupid. Like, stop being stupid. But, and people are like, I can't believe you people in Florida live like this. It's a lawless land. And I was just like, okay. I was like, calm down.
That's so funny. People are so mean.
So it's just ridiculous. But we were actively making sure that we weren't doing, it's not like we got drunk and then got out and weeded our beds with the blowtorch. Like, we were just doing what we bought it for.
Right.
So
that's so crazy.
It was hilarious. So, of course I thought that was funny, but I was like, come on, lady, like, get a clue.
I think you should get a cigar, go stand on your roof and just turn on the blowtorch towards the sky and just respond to her comment. Just like have, like Mission Impossible vest on. The best part was that night, Brian brought his friends over at like 10 o'clock from the neighborhood. And he was like, Dad, can you show us a blowtorch? And your dad's like, sure, buddy. Yeah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Yeah. Yeah. Dave hops up and he runs out and he's in the driveway.
And I was
so
like, oh
funny.
my, I said, please don't go get all the neighbor kids. It's 10 o'clock. And Brian's like, they got to see it. We're the only people on the street with a blowtorch. And I was like, oh, good.
You know that Dave felt so cool.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure he enjoyed that.
I could just
So,
picture his face, just feeling like Rambo in front of all the neighborhood kids.
Rambo. But yeah, but it turned out really, really good. The rock
Weeds?
beds look good. I weeded for like 5 hours. It was insane, but it looks much
Ugh.
better.
I don't even go out there. That's so wild. I guess I have to start doing that as a homeowner.
Yeah. Well,
I've had
a
a plastic spoon in my front garden since Easter. I just walk past it every day. I see it and I just leave it there.
Well, we lost a bunch of hedges when we had all that cold weather in this winter. We had a freeze, like it was literally 20 some odd degrees here. And so a bunch of our hedges died and I didn't rip them out. So they just were these like terribly brown dead twigs. And I was like, I have to rip these out now. So I spent most of the day ripping out hedges and weeds. And anyway, leave your forehead alone. I know. Did I touch it again?
God, yeah, so
Sure.
much. You're going to mess it up. The Botox is going to spread down to your eyeball. And then you're going to look like one of those baby dolls.
I told her, I said, listen, I said, you cannot it can't get, why do people get the droopy eye? And she said, it's just because they use too much. They over Botox. That's what causes the drooping.
I feel like placement probably has something to do with that.
Well, probably, but I think it's also if you use too much, it's going to get heavy and the muscle will,
True.
So you don't want to use too much.
True.
It doesn't hurt that bad like I need ice. I think it's just because there's little, like where they stuck me with a little tiny needle, it's a little sore. It's not like it hurts. But yeah, I'm not used to these things. I'm not used to worrying about these things.
Where you're gonna be looking like a spring chicken any day now.
Yeah. So that's about it. That's all I've got.
Cool.
Some weird randomness for today's episode.
I actually really enjoyed today's episode.
It was like weird potpourri.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we're gonna describe it.
Weird potpourri sounds about right.
Sorry, I was reading a comment.
Yeah, Tiffany, teach your kids how to weed. It could be their garden.
That's a cute idea in theory. But my patience is so thin, dude. My daughter the simplest directions. She hears something different.
What are you doing?
I'm like, climb out of the car and come to the front door. She runs full speed to the mailbox and does a cartwheel. I'm like, that's not what I said to do. I can't even imagine trying to garden with her. She'd rip the trees from their limbs. All right.
Yeah,
anyway, well, thank you all so much for being here.
Yes.
Make sure you join us next week for another episode of Take It
or Leave It, a podcast hosted by two struggling moms who have
no idea what we're doing.
We'll see you guys next time.
Love you. Goodbye.
Okay, bye. Red button.
Red button.
And broadcast.